Shortly after we learned that Israel had slaughtered 4 Jazeera journalists in a strike on a tent just outside a hospital, silencing some of the only voices holding them accountable for their genocide, I reached out to the office of Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, and I asked them, does Canada have any intention to sanction or otherwise take action against Israel over its killing of 5 journalists? The response I got, actually, as a journalist, makes me feel sick. I'm going to walk you through how this response went down. In response to my initial request, I learned that the Director of Communications for Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand is away, so he looped in the Press Secretary and the department. Now, I always get wary when the department is looped in because they don't have to give the political answer. In fact, they won't give the political answer, which helps the government to evade accountability. So I reiterated that I am really hoping for a response from the minister as well, not only from the department. Unsurprisingly, the only response that I got to that was from the department, and they referred me to a tweet. 4 Al Jazeera journalists were slaughtered by Israel. Israel already took credit for the strike that killed those journalists, which is a war crime. And you want to know what that tweet they referred me to said? Canada condemns the killing, typo, I think they meant to say of, Al Jazeera journalists in #Gaza. Journalists are civilians. Targeting them is unacceptable. We call for full accountability and for the protection of media everywhere. #press freedom. #not a target. Who killed them? I'm just wondering because the tweet never says, even though Israel has already taken credit for it. A tweet that you guys didn't even fully proofread. But that's the department. Maybe the minister will still get back to me with something that shows a little bit of respect for international law and for press freedom. I also responded to the department saying, would I be able to get a more specific response to my question about sanctions? Also, is there a reason you didn't name Israel in this tweet? I then followed up saying, I just want to ensure Maya is still planning to send something from the minister's end as well, because she had been dropped off the email chain. Then I get Maya's comment from the office of the Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand. Hi, Rachel. The minister reposted Global Affairs Canada's tweet. There's a little girl who is never going to get to hug her father again, because he committed the crime of doing journalism, of exposing atrocities amid a genocide. For that crime, he was slaughtered by Israel, along with 4 of his Al Jazeera colleagues. And all you can say is that the minister reposted a tweet. I'm finding it physically difficult to contain my disgust. And honestly, I didn't want to report this today. I didn't want to have to come here and tell you that this is how our government responded. But it is. I tried to give them another chance. I said, so no further comment on sanctions or why the Global Affairs Canada tweet didn't mention Israel whatsoever. I didn't immediately get a response, so I said, just following up on this. And then about 20 minutes ago, I sent one last email. I said, last call, I'm about to film. I'll have to say your only response to the murder of 5 journalists was to direct me to a tweet that doesn't even name the perpetrator. Just confirming you have nothing else to add? At the time I'm filming this, I haven't heard anything else. I'm sorry that this is all I have to report for you today. This is the only response, that the minister reposted a tweet with a grammatical error that doesn't even name who killed these journalists. Anas's life mattered. It mattered way more than a tweet. He had a daughter, he had a son. He was brave, he was reporting on atrocities. The 4 others who were killed were reporting on atrocities as they lived them. And I'm just... This is breaking something, not just in me, but I think in most of us. something that we didn't ask to have broken. But the inaction and complicity of people who claim to be the ones who are going to be leaders on the international stage, claim to be the journalists who comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, their failure is something that I think will be hard for a lot of us to come back from. Because of how I've reported on this, former political advisors to prime ministers and people who self-style as journalists have called me a terrorist or implied I should go and work for Hamas. But frankly, I expect it from them. What I guess I naively didn't expect to see to this degree is the silence from former colleagues I once respected and the degree of apathy from our government. Yeah, maybe we're dropping aid every now and then, aid drops that kill people. But we can't even say it was Israel who killed these journalists in the pathetic tweet that we put out. How can we claim to be defenders of international law? How can we claim to have these progressive values when it comes to issues like press freedom? Please, start to earn our trust back by starting to do the right thing. At least stop arming Israel. Because right now there's a little girl out there who's mourning her dad. And this was all you could do.
وين اروح؟ عمري وين انت؟